Hi everyone, what's up? It's Joshua here from Alternative Brewing, and today we're going to be checking out the FrankOne coffee and cold brew maker. Now the FrankOne is an automatic vacuum brewer that at the push of a button pumps your brewed coffee from the top down through a filter into the carafe below. Now the fact that the filtration is automatic and quite fast at pulling that brewed coffee down through the filter means it opens up the possibility of not only brewing smooth and quick hot coffee, but speeding up that whole process of cold brew coffee, which is known for much less acidity and bitterness, and it takes a few hours generally, but this is going to be able to do it in a matter of minutes. And you can shop the FrankOne now by following this link right here, and keep watching to learn how the FrankOne really is a 3-in-1 brewer. So the glass carafe holds around 600 mils of water, while the top compartment that brews the coffee holds around 450 mils. This has a single button on top of it to activate the pump. Then found on the inside is the removable stainless steel mesh filter ring. Flip it over and underneath is a yellow plug that conceals the charging port for the pump. So along with the FrankOne, you get a USB charging cable, an 8-gram measuring spoon, a stirring paddle, and a silicone coaster to be used either for your carafe or once you're done for placing the brewer on top of it. So first up, we're going to be brewing hot coffee using the FrankOne brewer. Add around 25 grams of medium fine ground coffee to the top of the unit, and then by following the lines found inside the brewer, you can adjust the strength of the coffee to your preferred tastes. And the bottom line is brewing a strong 300 ml coffee, whereas the middle line is for 400 mils of medium strong coffee, and then finally that top line of 450 mils for a lighter intensity brewed coffee. It's always fun to play around with the ratio of coffee to water, and as for me personally, having drunk straight espressos for a very long time, I do tend to favor those really strong intense flavors, or equally those nice long drawn out and lingering cups of coffee as well that are more like tea. So for now, let's get brewing using that medium strength coffee. So filling it up with water at 96 degrees Celsius or water just off the boil, and make sure that you pour it around the full bed of coffee to get all those grounds wet. Then give it 1 minute to steep before a gentle stir at the top to break that crust, and then immediately after that, press the button for it to filter down. Now, it's quite a unique brewer how it pumps that brewed coffee down into the bottom of carafe, and it really doesn't take all that long at all to get all that coffee out into the bottom. And then once all that water has drained from the top, you're able to then turn the pump off. And there you have it. In a matter of minutes, you have a deliciously hot coffee ready to enjoy. Now you can pour this out into your cup and drink it straight black, or if you've made it a little bit stronger, then I'm sure you can dilute that down with your favorite milk. So now let's check out cold brewing. Cold brewing with the FrankOne doesn't vary all that much in the method from hot coffee, but since it can be more of a concentrate where you can multiply the amounts of cups of coffee you make from that concentrate, I'm going to add around 45 grams of coffee, ground similar to the hot brew at a medium fine grind, perhaps a little bit coarser than this though, which in terms of a regular cold brew grind though is a lot finer, as we are looking for that same flavor profile as a long cold brew, but we're going to be achieving it in 4 to 6 minutes. Then add your iced cold water to it to the top line of 450 mils, but unfortunately ice is not going to work in this situation. Then let it steep like this with the lid on for at least 4 minutes. But there really isn't any reason why you couldn't leave it here longer. And then once that timer has elapsed, hit that button again and then let it draw down. And it is relatively easy to have a batch of cold brew ready to enjoy over ice again and again without too much time to wait. Topped up with some milk for some iced lattes, you can see the potential for a cold brew party. And there's one more method that really doesn't get enough of a good rap for being a really delicious way of making iced coffee, and that is the Japanese style way of iced coffee. Simply, it's coffee that's brewed hot and then poured directly onto the ice. So we would use about 1/3 of the final brew in the form of ice placed in the bottom of the carafe. And then the other 2/3, we're going to be adding that to the top chamber as hot water. Now, as it goes, hot water extracts a wider range of tastier flavors from the coffee and adds a whole lot more aromatics that complement the cup. And versus regular cold brewing, as it drops onto the ice, the delicious hot brew is flash cooled, locking in that array of flavors, and at the same time diluting that down so you can enjoy straight away. So for this method, you add 35 grams of medium fine ground coffee, treating it just like a regular hot brew again, but only adding 300 mils or so to that bottom line with hot water, and then let it steep here for a little longer before giving it a gentle stir, and then hit that button again to draw it down. And this is one of my favorite ways to make cold brew coffee, and if you haven't tried it, you can't knock it. Cleaning the FrankOne is relatively easy, and you just have to scrape out or rinse out the inside of that jug. Just make sure though that you give that filter a good scrub too, so it doesn't ever block up, and then dry everything before placing it back together for next time. And one last thing I should mention is that it should only take 2 full hours to charge, and then has enough of a charge when full to brew up to 100 serves. And that's the FrankOne Vacuum Coffee Brewer for you. Now, it brews pretty good hot coffee, but it is the cold brew where it shines the most. A 3-in-1 brewer with that ease of an automatic pump and a sustainable metal filter. What more could you ask for? So if you have any questions on the FrankOne brewer, throw them in the comment section down below and we'll get straight back to you. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon on your screen, and then that way you stay notified when we bring out new videos just like this every week. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.